There we go. There's the clap.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
What are you talking about that?
Yes. This is good. I hope you can hear me.
Please.
Is my mic working?
You're ruining people's listening experience.
But is it working? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it's 100% working.
Okay,
You can
good.
see the line.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's yours or mine.
We'll go on and talk.
Check 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, it's all
Alright, great.
My prompt for you this week, and I was saying this because it came from a show I was watching.
Yeah.
I would bloody watch a lot of shows. You know that. And
I know that for sure.
this was a little while back when it was to do with the OJ trial.
Ooh,
Yeah, OJ Simpson versus the people.
Interesting.
And long story short,
yes.
this woman's argument in the court was talking about voices, and she said she knew who was on the other side of the wall based on their ethnicity. But like she knew their ethnicity based on their voice. Yeah. So my question to you was, do you feel like you can tell the ethnicity of someone when they speak on the phone?
That's such an interesting question. Wow. I feel like intuitively you'd say yes. I think anyways, me, maybe. Let me not speak for everyone.
Completely.
But me intuitively, I think yes. You can guess. But I feel as though sometimes I've been very wrong.
There are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
I think George Ezra.
Ooh, okay.
You know, I don't know if you heard his singing voice.
I was singing. I think every singer, if they sing in English, just sound American to me.
No, he sounds like an old black guy. he's an exception.
American black guy.
Yeah, an old.
There
American.
You go.
Is it American? I don't know, but he just doesn't sound like what he looks like, and I think that there are exceptions to the rule. Don't get me wrong, but I think relatively speaking, there is something about I don't know how to describe it, but like you can tell when someone is black on the. I don't know. I feel like if I'm speaking to someone, I can tell.
Do you think it's anatomical, or do you think it's just how they've learned to speak?
Ooh, nature versus nurture.
Yeah, it goes back to that baby.
I have to think it's a little bit of both. I think there's an element of yeah, it's a cop-out answer, but I have to feel like no, because
both.
If you come, like, obviously as black people, we have black genes for certain things.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. We have
no, it's fine. I mean,
genes from our black parents,
okay,
which are like they're different to, I don't know, just say our lips or our nose or our disposition.
Okay,
things, right?
Yeah.
So my point would be that there is something to do with maybe your vocal box or your voice or something.
Ooh.
And then add in the culture.
Okay.
Add in that element of the environment around you, and therefore you have.
So, do you think black people usually have a tone of voice as well, not just the intonation, but the tone? Like, they're usually deep or something.
But like, there is something I'm trying to describe, but I don't feel like I know the word for it. It's like to do with within the configuration of their voice box, right?
Yeah.
Within there is something that I'm like. I'm like
hello,
I
and I'm always know what you mean, but at the same time, I think, for instance, if you try and pronounce, I was going to say Arabic, but you can actually speak Arabic. Some another form of like tone that you're not used to.
Yes, I agree with you.
You'd probably struggle quite a lot.
I completely agree with that.
But if you were in the womb and you were surrounded by people who spoke like that, you would actually find it easier. Just by the sheer fact of having heard it
from the womb.
From the womb, yes. So what I'm trying to say is, because we've had people speaking in a particular way from the womb itself, we end up just speaking that way as well.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's purely nurture, but nurture starting from when we haven't even been born yet. So
that's so interesting.
So yeah,
so it's like even before that.
Yeah, exactly. Even before you've been born. So if you've been completely surrounded by your mother, your father, who's also speaking in that particular way, who they've taken from their mother, and their father, who they've taken from them. So it goes all the way back. So yeah, so that's why, personally, you might need to fact check me on that. I wasn't expecting this. So,
you are a first-year med student. I think we can let you off on that encounter. However, we're saying bottom line is you can tell what the person sounds like.
Yes.
And there are exceptions to that rule, but you can more often than not.
Yeah. But that's an outrageous statement, though.
OJ.
That's an outrageous statement.
I'm just saying.
That's just so funny. Because I think if someone said that about me, like, you like, let's say I'm talking to someone on the phone, like, oh, you're black, aren't you? I don't know how I feel about that. Like, what am I saying? That's so I don't know how good your code switching is.
I wouldn't say I necessarily code switch too much. I think that's an element of us having grown down south where it's relatively so many white people that we don't really code switch. It's just the way we speak around these people.
Yeah.
I wonder though.
I have this interesting thing where, so I mentioned first year medical student, and I was talking to one of the professors when we do consultation skills practice and things like that. He was saying that after the consultation skills practice, you then go into work in the GP and also observe and things like that, have some patient interaction. So the teacher and the person leading the consultation skills was black. So after the session, we ended up just having a little chat, finding out, okay, so how was your journey through medical school, all these things, because he was fairly young. And he was like, I wish I just stayed true to myself. And that's why I always tell people when they come through here, especially black people. And so he went on and then he was telling me a story about how he did have a conversation like that with someone. And then later on, he found out that this person, because he was there actually at the GP when after the consultation skills sessions were done, that this person was so true to themselves that he actually ended up wearing a durag to the GP for the observation and patient interaction. So at that point, he was like, he didn't know what to think. Like, should I tell him that this is just a bit inappropriate because it's like professional environment, or should I stick to me saying like, nah, stay true to yourself, brother. Like, if you wear durags, that's what you do. So
is a durag not professional?
That's what I'm thinking. Is it? Yeah. Is it?
Or is it not just a part of black culture?
Yeah.
That allows it.
That just So it should be like, you gotta stay true to yourself.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
Like, would you find if someone wears a durag unprofessional to a professional environment?
I don't know. I actually don't know what my answer is. If I walked into the doctor's, and the guy opened the door, he's got a durag on.
Hey yo.
I don't know. You know when you're just like, I feel like I just want to, because like I just want to dap the guy. I feel like, when you see your doctor, you just say that, and then if you see this guy, they're just like,
that sketch is always a funny.
I can understand the connotations, but I think because we've been so put into our boxes that like I'm for it. Like I'm like, if you want to wear a durag, go wear a durag. Because today nice. You feel like your hair's just not on point, or you're trying to lay down some waves or whatever it is. Why is it a problem when you're doing consultations? It doesn't affect the ability to do your job.
It really does.
Do you know what I mean?
It just doesn't. So no, it wouldn't affect it. But then I
do find it funny. I just obviously understand. Like you wouldn't, like if you're client facing or something, you wouldn't do it, obviously.
So I mean, those are sort of questions that we have to ask ourselves then, which maybe others don't really have to. It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
So is it for me to ask you then?
No, I'm asking you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what have we got?
Oh yeah, of course.
You've put this lovely mask in.
Of course. Yes.
With a lion.
Yes. The GCU Lions. So I don't know. I think they have it here as well, where each university is. In America, let's just rewind the tape a little bit. So after finishing college in the UK, I ended up going to America on a soccer scholarship to complete my undergrad, and it was for a team whose mascot were the Lions, and it was called Georgian Court. Yeah, Georgian court lines. So yeah, that's why I kind of spent my 4 years competing, NCAA Division Two level. So I guess if you put that like into context, will be Division One is you're pretty much an athlete, definitely destined for, um,
The big leagues.
playing the big leagues.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
exactly.
over there, I guess MLS, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and NCAA two is more like maybe playing for the big leagues, maybe also focusing on kind of your studies, so you're kind of unsure. So that's kind of the level where everyone's very high standards, but also focus on education. So definitely still very competitive, very very competitive. But at the same time, you also have to do your like your school work and your uni work. But it was a good time. It was a good time. It was just such a shame that COVID came in the middle of that. I think everyone had their struggles during COVID, but my struggle was turning 21 in America and then having to come back to the UK because of COVID. Because as you can imagine, 21 is the age where pretty much, well, let's not talk about guns or subscribing for the army, but just more like going out, clubbing or night events and things like that.
I thought guns and army was 18.
Yeah, exactly. As I was saying, so if get rid of that. Things that actually happen later at 21 is like the bars and things like that, drinking.
Yeah.
You
wanted to have the university experience.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I'm endorsing all of that, but it'd be fun to have that experience in Manhattan as well. So this uni was in New Jersey, literally 40 minutes away from Manhattan. And that's kind of what I was looking for because I don't know, growing up, you see Manhattan, the big lights, you want to know what the nightlife is like as well. So
yeah, concrete jungle.
Yeah, exactly. And over there, if you're not 21 and over, you're not getting in anywhere. So yeah, I was looking forward to that experience.
Yeah,
but didn't get it.
But overall, how do you rate your time? I guess you've done a semester here of university in England.
Yes.
And you can compare it to university in USA.
Yeah. I think development-wise, I think there's a difference. Here, you're expected to know what you want, where you're going with life, and where you're going with whatever you're doing at uni. If that makes sense. So you've picked you've kind of chosen at least 3 or 4 subjects at A levels already, and you've chosen the one subject at uni, and that's expected. But over there, it's not at all. So people are still, they haven't matured to that stage where, okay, this is what I want for my career, because you don't have to. It's 2 years into uni that you can pick what you want to do. And up until that point, you're kind of trying new things. It's still a bit kind of fun, not fun, but it's still explorative. Whereas here, I feel like by 18, people are, okay, this is what I want for my career, usually, anyways, or this is the field I want to go into, be it business or healthcare or the arts. But over there, it's so open. Everyone's still kind of exploring, and it's a bit more liberal, I'd say, at that point. So I think the first 2 years, this semester has been more intense than my first 2 years in America. But then after the 2 years, it does. They crack down.
We are talking about two different things in the sense that you're not just doing a business degree here or something relatively open. You are doing a medicine degree. Yeah. So it's going to be more intense.
So it might, I can imagine. Yeah, it's very very different. Every time I talk to other people doing their other degrees, the whole course itself is so different. Every week there'll be a new case with a new fake patient. Yeah. And you just have to solve the case, and that's literally what my degree is about for the next 2 years.
Solving cases.
Yeah, it's just, and you have to learn about the condition. You have to learn the ins and outs of the condition, the pathology, the cellular components to it, the mechanisms, the anatomy behind it. So we piece all of that, those things that you didn't know, you put it together and you solve the case, and you do it in groups of 6. So it's I find it so fun, so interesting, so engaging. But I'm glad I'm doing it because I don't know how it would be to. So we have 3 lectures a week because the rest of the time you're spending kind of trying to piece things together to solve the case. So I can't imagine having, I don't know how many lectures you have in your uni, but I can imagine more than 3. So
yeah, definitely more than 3.
Yeah. Wow. So having that, I can't imagine that anymore. That sounds too much.
Yeah, I think it's a different experience, but
yeah,
I'm traumatized by uni, so I'll leave that for another day.
Let's leave that for another day. But uni experience in the States was amazing. Honestly, I think it might have slowed down my career in healthcare and medicine, but I think I wouldn't give it back. I wouldn't take it back at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like you've come from like I said, I think I said this to you a little while back. Even though we're talking at this later stage, where by now you might have finished your degree, you're coming into it with a level of maturity and approach that you wouldn't necessarily do as an 18, 19, 20-year-old.
Yeah, that's
what I mean? So your level of understanding and care for something is a completely different level, and life experience, which I don't know. I guess that's not just because I'm your friend, but it might make you a better GP that way around.
For sure. I mean,
another way around. Because don't get me wrong, there are some 18, 19, 20-year-olds out there that are super mature.
Yeah.
That also like are on that level already. But I think there's an element of your journey that's led you to where you are that's going to allow for it to, for you to be a specific kind of.
Okay. I want so question for you guys would be: is there a difference between maturing and learning? Maybe there is. But for me, maturing is something that just happens naturally through the process of life, whereas learning is you learn maybe through experiences that you've had. That's why some people can seem like they know more because they've had to learn more quicker. Whereas maturation, if you just both put in, just through process of life.
So can you know a lot through learning but not be mature?
Yeah, but be less mature. Yeah, that's my idea.
So you can have people who haven't learned much but still be very mature.
Because just naturally you mature through life. Because you have to. If you're just living. Yeah.
I think you're talking about getting old.
Yeah, but not just physically.
Interesting. I feel like they go hand in hand, maturing and learning. The more you learn, the more you mature.
Yeah.
Or actually,
they can go hand in hand, of course. But I think they're different processes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was gonna say that there's other mature students who I think the oldest at my uni is 47.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes
I respect being that age and feel like, okay, yeah, I want to become a doctor.
Ready to change my career. He was actually a cameraman. He used to do films, movies. So what a career change. That's just like
pretty wild.
That ambition.
However, it's not the craziest thing
It's not the craziest career change.
There's a guy. I can't remember who was it. He's been an accountant. His whole life, and he wanted to change to become a carpenter.
Oh, okay, okay. That's an interesting career change.
Yeah, he was in his 50s. He was like, I'm coming over to do a carpentry school or something.
Yeah.
Or a woodworking or whatever. And he was like, yeah, like I'm a mature student. I'm in my 50s. And then he dropped that he used to be like an accountant. I was like, that's crazy. But I respect you being that age and be like, actually, I want to completely change of
direction. Well,
that takes balls.
I think I can do one better. Same thing. Was an accountant as well. I kid you not.
Yeah.
He was like, that's it. Nah, I've had enough. He was maybe 47 years old as well, like late 40s anyways. And he wanted to be a surfing instructor. So first surfing lessons I did with him, incredible experience.
You did surfing lessons with him?
Yes. It was incredible.
I can see how you would transition into that. Like I can see how when you get to an end. No. Not from accounting to surfing. I just mean from anything to surfing instructor. Because as you get later in life, you're like, I like the sea. I want to be by. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think also with I like to be creative, and I want to explore my creative side. I think carpentry and making things is quite a good outlet for that as well. Yeah, one thing I always want to do is make jewelry or things like that with metal. Like just hammering away.
Welding.
Yeah, okay. Welding. I'm a little bit fringe hobby, but I don't know. Is that a fringe hobby?
I'd say that's a pretty fringe hobby. Okay. Although I do see some cool videos of people doing it on Facebook. You know, where they decide to weld like a sword, or they decide to make something. Yeah, fair enough. I get it, but
I wasn't thinking much sword because I feel like I don't know.
You're talking about jewelry.
It's quite intense. So when I was at university, especially in America, like I told you, you have to do many subjects to kind of taste everything. But there was one person who, from the very beginning, knew what they wanted to do.
Right.
Absolutely, was dead certain about it. And I found this person in my chemistry class. It was quite bright, and we're going through the classes, and I was like, so why are you so passionate about it? He told me because he knew what he wanted to do. So naturally he asked, like, what is it that you want to do? And he says he wants to work for the government. I was like, okay. Like, what, civil servant? Like, chemical civil servant? I don't know. He was like, nah, I want to work for the army, and I want to create chemical weapons to help.
Oh, he was passionate about
wars.
chemistry.
Yeah.
And then passionate about helping the government win wars.
Yeah, through chemical weapons, which you need to do chemistry to go into that kind of field. So I was like, that's a morbid passion. Like, let's say you were an admissions person.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Should you vet those type of people? Like, if that's someone's motivation. But then again, it's illegal. It's not like he's doing anything illegal. Like, it just seems like seems like
Oppenheimer vibes.
Yeah, exactly. And even he didn't at the end like it, did he?
No,
I haven't actually watched the movie. So
neither do I. I'm talking about absolutely out of my arse. I have no idea what I mean when I say that. But I just thought the gist of it was he created something that he regretted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. I thought I got the same.
Okay. That's so crazy though. Like, you're passionate about making weapons of mass destruction, or like weapons to win wars.
So is that a proud thing? Like,
is it a proud thing?
Yeah, like, should you be like, wow, this guy wants to win wars for his country, so nationalism. I guess nationalism is ever a good thing.
I guess I'm skipping jumps because I'm like, if you're motivated by death and destruction, but like you're saying it's before that, it's nationalism.
Yeah. Death and destruction. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
That would be Thanos type of vibes if that was.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, I think it's more nationalism, like, more than anything. So I don't know. Maybe that's another question for another day. Like, is nationalism?
Yeah, I guess is that so different from people wanting to be soldiers?
Yeah,
going to war.
That's so true. Is that so different?
Right. I'm happy to wrap it up there.
Yeah. So for me, I want to see what are some of the things that you aren't questioning that might not be quite moral, but in the future.
You didn't ask me for my item. Oh. Hold on a minute.
Flies on you, as they say. Have you heard that saying?
Edit cricket noise in the
Well, you bought a lot of books. So let's go.
Which is such a false interpretation of me. These are all the books I've read in my life.
Should we go there? Or we can actually go for this controller.
Oh, no. Do you know what I thought? This is obviously belongs to one company. Yeah. But this refers to a time actually where, because I really like putting things together, things like Lego, not ashamed to say that, whatever. I had two controllers. One worked, one didn't. Okay. And the one that worked had a problem with the bumper. So then I figured out on YouTube how to switch out bumpers. So I took one apart, put it in the other one, and the bumper worked.
Wow, there you go.
Engineer. Quick story. Engineer. Yeah, that was cool. Lasted for a little while. However, the reason I had it here, I thought it was symbolic to us because over the period of times that we've been away from each other, where you've been at uni or college or whatever it was, even secondary school, we didn't go to the same one. Whenever we'd meet up, it would be to play FIFA.
Yeah, I know. And FIFA sessions.
Yeah, I feel like the iconic FIFA sessions. So I felt like we had to pay homage to that. And
absolutely.
It's been a while that we've played FIFA.
It's been a long time, actually.
However, I think putting it there is just a motivating point to be like let's get back to it. Let's just
must be hard.
Get back to the days where I beat you all the time.
That's what I had to say.
I knew you were going with it.
Yes, you beat me to it.
So
wow, didn't even let me get to the punchline.
No, I knew you were going. I know how you roll.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's why I got the controller.
That's great. That's great.
Cool.
I mean, talking about deconstructed stuff, what do you think about deconstructed food?
Wow. I could probably talk about it for hours because food is my passion, and food in any form is just top tier.
Fair enough.
Any form, constructed, deconstructed, reconstructed. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, I'll tell you something I love, which I do at Nando's, and I would love to just get like, I don't know if it really is a thing,
this reconstructed?
Nando's black card, right? But I always, because as you can tell, I like to eat a lot of good food. We'll go to Nando's, get myself a double chicken burger or something that's got double chicken in it, right?
Okay.
Could be a wrap, it could be a pita, it could be a burger, or any of their specials. And I'll have 2 sides, and the sides I'll have usually is rice and then maybe chips. Maybe the other side doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Their broccoli's really good, whatever. But I have a rice. And then what I'll do when the burger comes is I'll deconstruct the burger, take one of those chicken breasts, put it with the rice, have rice and chicken.
Oh, reconstruct.
And then
rice.
Do reconstruct the rice, and then put the burger back together, and then have it. It's like I'm having 2 meals.
That's great. That is that's a top tip right there.
That's if you. Yeah, I feel like it tricks the brain for sure. The same amount of food that you'd be eating,
right? But now you're having 2 meals. That's incredible. I think you deserve a round of applause for that.
Thank you. I'll edit the round of applause. So. Yeah, that's about it. I'll let you answer how you feel about deconstructed food, and then I'll let you wrap it up.
No, I think you've done the job perfectly. Yeah, I think that you're the connoisseur.
Nando's.
Shout him. Black card.
I don't know if they saw the wink, but I'll let you. Yeah. That was rude of me to interrupt, but I just thought.
No, it wasn't. It was necessary. It was important. I think. Every time we go through these things, we shouldn't miss a thing out, and we should do things properly. I think that's just in life as well. Don't cut corners. You're only cheating yourself, as they always used to say when we did our running and sprinting for pre-season. So I think that's one thing I'd cut with.
Good stuff.
That's right. Shalom.